through how to create your first site using Google Sites. And I'm going to go under the assumption that you kind of got the first page of that introduction done where you registered for a Gmail, you created your username and password, and you're pretty much ready to go. So if you went to sites.google.com, it's going to bring you to this little home page here. And this is kind of going to be your landing spot where you could organize and access all of the sites you've created. But if you haven't created a site before, it's going to look really blank, something like this. So we're going to start off by creating our first site. And for us, we're always going to choose the blank template, although there are a whole bunch of templates that you can kind of work with. The blank just, I feel like, gives you a lot of flexibility, and it's really easy to start doing some of the stuff that these other templates have. So we're going to click on blank. And now this is going to load up your very first website, and it's going to allow you to access and change a whole bunch of stuff about it, starting with your page title. So a couple things we should talk about right off the bat. Right now, this is the title of your website. So this is the title of your entire website, which means it's going to be on every page that you kind of have. This is the page title. So this is going to change depending on what page of your website you're on. We have, of course, our undo, our redo. We have an option to publish our website. Once we think we're ready for the world to see it, we can click publish, and then anybody on the internet can go and type in our website URL, and they can navigate right to it and check out what we've been doing. And the other thing we have is this little collaborator button. So if I click on this, I'm actually going to allow other people to work on my website with me at the exact same time, which is a really cool feature. So we can always share this website with others so they can either come check out what we're doing or help us finish it up. So we're going to walk through how to make a website, and I'm going to start by changing our title. So I'm going to change our title to Welcome to Sports Stars, and a little exclamation mark there. Perfect. Okay, so we're looking good, but still all of this kind of doesn't really look that nice for me here. So I'm going to change my site name. I'm going to change that to Sports Stars. And you notice it automatically reflects up there because that is the title of my whole website. So now I'm going to see my Sports Stars will be on every single web page of my website that I'm working with. Now, right now, this is the most boring website of all time. So I think it's a good idea to probably change this and make it look a little more sporty. So here is my banner, and I have a whole lot of things that I can do with my banner. So I can go and I can change my header type to make it large, or I can make it just the title if I want it to, or I can make it a whole cover. But for right now, I think I'm just going to leave it at banner. I'll go back, and we want to change this image from this ugly gray black blobness to something a little more sporty. So I'm going to go to select an image. Now I could also have clicked on upload if I wanted to. If I had an image on my computer that was so awesome I could just upload it right in. But I mean, we're working with Google, so I think it's a good idea to try to find a picture right off Google. Okay. So we're going to go to select image, and then we're going to search. So I'm going to search for LeBron James wallpaper anthem. Let's see. Oh, look at that guy. All right, so we're going to select him. Damn, LBJ, you looking good. All right, so we got my man LeBron here. He's welcoming us to the Sports Stars website. And now we're starting to actually look like a website. But a website normally has some text, especially something going on down here. So we can insert a whole bunch of things in our website. So I'm going to insert just a regular old text box. So I'm going to hit insert text box, and now we have all the text options that we're kind of used to from working with Microsoft Word. So I'm going to do a couple of changes just to make this website look a little nicer. I'm going to change my font to, I don't know, let's see. Okay, we'll change it to Nunito. And I'm going to make it a little bigger, maybe 18, and I'm going to bold it to make it look nice. And then I'm just going to type a nice little welcome message in. Welcome to the premier source on the internet for sports news. And I wish I could spell. Premier. There we go. Okay. Now, looking good, but I feel like this white kind of thing is a little boring right now, so I want to change that. So I'm going to click on this little background here, and I can change it to any one of these kind of things that I want. I can change it to that if I wanted to, but I kind of like this blue, so I'm going to go with that blue for now. Okay, cool. So we have this going on, and we could keep making a bunch of text boxes, and we could go to Insert Text Box, or there's also the Quick Click option. If I just double click in here, it can allow me to add whatever I want. But I kind of want to switch it up a bit. I'm going to use something called a layout. And which one do I want? So these layouts are kind of these predefined things that make it a lot easier to write and put pictures in and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to click on the one on the top left here. Oh yeah, looking good. Now I'm going to fill this new layout in with some info. So in the big title, I'm going to put top 5 NBA players ever. Okay, and then that little section, I'm going to put Mr. Valconi gives his perfect, no debate list of the top 5 NBA players of all time. Perfect. Good. So I have my writing here. I have my little subsection about what this is going to be about, and I'm just going to put an image in here. And since we're talking about basketball, I'm just going to select an image, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to do a Google image search here. Google image search, I'm going to search for any basketball picture. That looks like a perfectly fine basketball. I'm going to hit insert. And now I have my picture of a basketball. Now, you might notice that, ooh, that's cropped a little bit, so I can make that a little bigger if I want it to, or I can make it a little wider if I want it to. It's up to you. So I made this a perfectly round one. I might even reduce that a little bit because I think people get the general idea. Stop it there. All right, good stuff. Now, what we want to do is if I click on this top 5 NBA players ever, I want to be able to click on it and it take me to the page where I talk about the top 5 NBA players ever. But the problem is I don't have that page yet, but it's super easy to make. So let me show you how to do that. Over here, if we go to pages, I can click on pages, click on this little plus sign and choose to add a page. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to click new page, and I'm going to call this top 5 NBA players ever. Makes sense? I'm going to hit done, and now you should notice a couple of things that we should talk about. First off, my picture of LeBron James is still here. That's my banner, so it's going to be on every page in my website. You also notice that I now have this little top thing here. This top 5 NBA players ever is also now one of my page options. So I could click on home, or I could click on top 5 NBA players ever, and it's going to take me to a new page in my website. Okay, cool. You'll also notice that now I have another page in my pages window, we call this thing. This is where you're going to access all the pages in your website. And if you were doing a real website, which you're going to kind of be doing in a sec, you might have a whole bunch of pages. So it's important to keep them organized. And we'll talk about that in a sec. So we had a couple of things happen here. We also had my title just be reflected here. Now I could always change this title to anything I want, like hello. And you'll notice that that doesn't change the name of my top 5 NBA players page. It just changes the title of my page. But I kind of liked it before, so I'll undo that and put it top 5 NBA players ever. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in some information. So I'm going to choose a layout. So I'm going to go to Insert, Layout, and I'm going to choose the bottom one here, my top 5 NBA players ever. Okay, perfect. This makes sense. I'm going to put 4 of my top 5 players here. Okay, so we'll start with number 5. And number 5, we have number 5, and we're going to put Bill Russell in there. And then number 4, I'm going to put Magic Johnson. Number 3, I'll put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 2 is LeBron James. And we'll save number 1 for later because we're not ready to do that yet. So now we probably want some pictures of these people. So just like last time, we can just go to select image. I'll do a Google image search, and the first one is Bill Russell. So I'll just Bill Russell. Any picture of Bill Russell will do. The first one's completely fine. Hit insert, and we're going to get a lovely picture of Bill Russell in there. And we'll just repeat that process for all of them. So we'll go to Magic Johnson next. And this one's nice. Perfect. Insert that. And then we'll do the next one for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Famous skyhook. And then we'll find one for LeBron James. Okay, we're looking good. Now, this looks good, but I kind of feel like it's a little plain. So there's a couple things we can do to spruce it up. So first I'm going to change the background. I'll put it at emphasis 1, so we have it a little bit grayed out. Adds a nice little contrast to it. Now, these numbers, I mean, we can just go ahead and bold them, but there's also other things we can do to make it look just even a little bit prettier. Instead of normal text, I'm going to choose a style, and I'm going to choose heading. Now that looks better. Now I have this nice big number 5. So I'll do that on all these things. I'll choose normal text, and I'll choose heading. And we could do this, number 3, and I'll change that to heading. And number 2, and I'll change that to heading. Now we could also go through and bold these things if we wanted to, underline them, change the size, change the italics. We can do whatever we want to it. But for now, I think that's good. Now, we have our number 1 NBA player of all time. So I'm going to actually try to make this a little bit of a secret. So they are actually going to have to click on this to see who the number 1 NBA player of all time is. So we have a whole bunch of other options here. I know on this insert page you can only see kind of these things here, the layouts and the text box images, the embed code, but there's all these other things that are really, really useful here, and we'll kind of get into some of those. But I want to talk at least about the first one here, this collapsible text. So I'm going to insert collapsible text. Now, this is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, all right, basically if you click on this, it's going to allow you to open it up and see what the actual number 1 player is. So I'm going to put, and the GOAT is ... and that kind of gives people the prompt to click on it. And here I'm going to put Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Lovely. So see what happens there. So now they need to click on this and it'll open up. Beautiful. Okay, but we kind of want to do some edits here because this should be nice and dramatic and make it look really good. So I'm going to put this as emphasis 2, and I should probably make this a little bigger because it's pretty important. So I'm going to make this maybe size 36. That's better, and I'll bold it. Looking good. Okay, so we're looking good. We have our top 5 NBA players ever. All these things are available for us. The GOAT is, click on that, and we have Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Okay, now we could always go back, add some pictures. We could actually even add an image carousel, which kind of cycles through some pictures. So if you had like 10 pictures of Michael Jordan, it would go through all of them on like a timer, which is really cool. But for now, this looks good. Now let's go back to our homepage and check out how we're doing. So we have our top 5 NBA players ever. So if I click on this, it should take me to my page. But it doesn't. And well, that makes sense because we never told this website to link those 2 pages. So we need to create what we call a link. And it's super easy. All we need to do is just highlight this, and then we go to our little link icon. And if you click on the link, it'll allow you to type in any link on the internet. So I could type in like tsn.ca or google.com or tmz.com and hit apply. And if I click on it, it will take me to that. Or I can choose any link from the actual website that I'm creating right now. So it makes sense for me to choose the one that I just created. So I'm going to click the top 5 NBA players ever. I'll click apply, and now you notice it's underlined, which means I have a link going on there. Now, for extra points, you could always even click on the basketball and that would take me to the same place. So I'm going to create another link here, insert the link, top 5 NBA players ever, hit apply, and now we're looking good. So I have my link here. It even tells me right here what page this is connected to. Perfect. So we're looking good. I think it's time that we actually even try this out and publish it. So I'm going to click publish, and now I can name this website anything you want. Now, unfortunately, the popular names are probably already taken. So I'm probably not going to be able to call it Sports Stars or like Super Sports or anything like that. See, great address, but it's already taken. And it doesn't really matter what you call it. So I'm going to call it Valconi Super, no, what's it called? Sports Stars? Sports Stars. Oh, already taken because I made it once. I'm going to call it Sports Stars 1. Look at that, not taken. I get this little check mark. That means I can take it. Should I take it? Oh yeah. So I'm going to click publish, and it's publishing. It's publishing. Perfect. It says my site has been viewed successfully. My goodness, I should take a look at it. I'll click view. Now, when I'm in this view, this is what you would see on my website. This is how the website would look to you. Now, obviously, because I'm making it, I have this like awesome edit view where I can change things. You, who are just looking at it, shouldn't be able to change anything. And you can't. So this is my website. It looks really nice. I could click on my top 5 NBA players ever. It should take me to the other page, and it does. Beautiful. And I could click on, and the GOAT is, scroll down, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. He's our #1 player. Okay. This, right now, is a very basic website, but it's a really good introduction to how to make a web page. And as we get into it, there'll be a whole lot more stuff that we're going to explore with this. But this is a really good place to start. Okay? So, hopefully we got that. If you need to review anything, just rewind this video and keep on rocking.